Footwork by Chuck Palahniuk. Don't laugh, but in aromatherapy, they warn you to never light a lemon cinnamon candle at the same time you light a clove candle and a cedar nutmeg candle. They just don't tell you why. In feng shui, they never let on, but just by putting a bed in the wrong spot, you can focus enough chi to kill a person. You can give a late-term abortion with just acupuncture. You can use crystals or aura work to give people skin cancer. Don't laugh, but there are back alleys and ways that you can turn anything new age into a killing tool. Your last week in massage school, they teach you to never work the transverse reflex zone at the heel of the foot. Never touch the arch of the left foot dorsum, and especially not the outer leftmost aspect. But they don't tell you how come. This is the difference between therapists who work the light side versus the dark side of the industry. You go to school to study reflexology. It's the science of manipulating the human foot to heal or stimulate certain parts of the body. It's based on the idea that your body is divided into 10 different energy meridians. Your big toe, for example, it's connected straight to your head. To cure dandruff, you massage the little spot just behind your big toenail. To cure a sore throat, you massage the middle joint of the big toe. This isn't the kind of health care covered by any insurance plan. This is like being a doctor, but without the income. The kind of people who want the space between each toe rubbed to cure brain cancer, well, they don't tend to have loads of money. Don't laugh, but even with years of experience manipulating people's feet, you'll still find yourself poor and rubbing the feet of people who never made income their top priority. Don't laugh, but one day you see a girl you went to massage school with. This girl, she's your same age. You both wore beads together. You two braided dried sage and burned it to cleanse your energy field. The two of you were tie-dyed and barefoot and young enough to feel noble while you rubbed the feet of dirty homeless people who came into the school's free practice clinic. Now, this was years and years ago. You're still poor. Your hair is turned to break off at the scalp. From a poor diet or gravity, people think you're frowning even when you're not. This girl you went to school with, you see her coming out of a posh midtown hotel, the doorman holding the door open as she sweeps out, swinging furs and wearing high heels that no reflexologist would ever strap her feet inside. While the doorman is flagging her a cab, you go close enough to say, "Lentil?" The woman turns, and it's her. Real diamonds sparkle at her throat. Her long hair shines, thick, heaving in waves of red and brown. The air around her smells soft as roses and lilac. Her fur coat, her hands in leather gloves, the leather smooth and pale and nicer than the skin of your own face. The woman turns and lifts her sunglasses to rest on the crown of her hair. She looks at you and she says, "Do I know you? You went to school together when you were younger." The doorman holds the cab's door open, and the woman says, of course she remembers. She looks at a wristwatch, blinding bright with diamonds in the afternoon sun, and says in 20 minutes she needs to be across town. She asks you, can you ride along? The two of you get into the back of the cab, and the woman hands the doorman a $20 bill. He touches his cap and says it's always such a pleasure to see her. The woman tells the cab driver the next address, someplace a little farther uptown, and the cab swings into traffic. Don't laugh, but this woman, Lentil, your old friend, she loops one fur coat arm out of the handle of her purse. She snaps the purse open, and inside it's stuffed with nothing but cash money, layers of $50 and $100 bills. With a gloved hand, she digs into these and finds a cell phone. To you, she says, "This won't take a minute." Next to her, your Indian-printed cotton wrap skirt, your flip-flop sandals, and brass bell necklace don't look chic and ethnic anymore. The kohl around your eyes and the faded henna designs on the back of your hands, they make you look like you never take a bath. Next to her diamond stud earrings, your favorite dangling silver earrings could be thrift store or Christmas tree ornaments. Into the cell phone, she says, "I'm en route." She says, "I can take the 3 o'clock, but only for half an hour." She says goodbye and then hangs up. She touches your hand with a soft, smooth glove and says, "You look good." She asks what you've been doing lately. "Oh, the same old," you tell her, "manipulating feet." "You built a good list of repeat clients." Lentil chews her bottom lip, looking at you. She says, "So you're still into reflexology?" And you say, "Yeah." You don't see how you'll ever retire, but it pays the bills. She looks at you as the cab goes a whole city block, not saying a word. Then she asks if you're free for the next hour. She asks if you'd like to make some money, tax-free, doing a four-handed foot manipulation for her next client, and all you'd have to do is one foot. You've never done reflexology with a partner, you tell her. 1 hour, she says, and we get $2,000. You ask, "Is this legal?" And Lentil says, $2,000 each. You ask, "Just for a foot massage?" Another thing, she says, "Don't call me Lentil." She says, "When we get there, my name is Angelique." Don't laugh, but this is real. The dark side of reflexology. Of course, we knew some aspect of it. We knew by working the plantar surface of the big toe, you could make someone constipated. By working the ankle around the top of the foot, you could give them diarrhea. By working the inside surface of the heel, you could make someone impotent or give them a migraine headache. But none of this would make you money, so why bother? The cab pulls up to a carved pile of stone, the embassy of some Middle Eastern oil economy. A uniformed guard opens the door and Lentil gets out. You get out. Inside the lobby, another guard wands you with a metal detector, looking for guns, knives, whatever. Another guard makes a cell phone call from a desk topped with a smooth slab of white stone. Another guard looks inside Lentil's purse and, pushing aside the paper money to find nothing but her cell phone. The doors to an elevator open and another guard waves you both inside. Lentil says, "Just do what I do." She says this is the easiest money you'll ever make. Don't laugh, but in school you'd hear the rumors about how a good reflexologist might be lured away to the dark side, to work just certain pleasure centers on the sole of the foot, to give what most people only whispered about, what giggling people would call foot jobs. The elevator opens onto a long corridor that leads to only one set of double doors. The walls are polished white stone. The floor, stone. The double doors are frosted glass and open into a room where a man sits at a white desk. He and Lentil kiss each other on the cheek. The man behind the desk, he looks at you, but talks only to Lentil. He calls her Angelique. Behind him, another set of double doors open into a bedroom. The man waves the two of you to go through, but he stays behind, locking the doors. He locks you inside. Inside the bedroom, a man face down on the huge round bed with white silk sheets. He wears silk pajamas, shiny blue silk, and his bare feet hang off one edge of the bed. Angelique tugs off one of her gloves. She takes off the other glove, and you both kneel in the deep carpet and each take a foot. Instead of a face, all you can see is his grease-combed black hair, his big ears fuzzed with tufts of black hair. The rest of his head is sunk into the white silk pillow. Don't laugh, but those rumors are true. By pressing where Angelique pressed, by working the genital reflex zone on the plantar side of the heel, she had the man moaning face down in his pillow. Before your hands are even tired, the man is bellowing, soaked in sweat, the blue silk pasted to his back and legs. When he's silent, when you can't tell if he's even breathing, Angelique whispers it's time to go. The man at the desk hands each of you $2,000 cash. Outside on the street, a guard flags a cab for Angelique. Getting into the back seat, Angelique hands you a business card. It's the phone number for her holistic healing clinic. Under the number, handwritten, it says, "Ask for Lenny." The soft leather glove of her hand, the roses of her perfume, the sound of her voice, it all says, "Call me." People have a lot of reasons they have into giving foot jobs. The idea that you can give your family a better life. You can give your mom and dad a little comfort and security, a car maybe, a condo on the beach in Florida. The day you gave your folks the keys to that condo, that was the happiest day of your life. The day that they cried and admitted they never thought their baby would ever make a living just rubbing people's stinky feet, that's a day you'll pay for the rest of your life. Don't laugh, but it's not illegal. You're doing a simple foot manipulation. Nothing sexual happens except your client has an orgasm that leaves them too weak to walk for the next couple of days. Men or women, it doesn't matter. You work the right spot on their feet and they come hard as a seizure. So hard there's a smell when they lose control of their bowels. So hard most clients can only look at you, the drool running out of one corner of their mouth, and motion with a trembling finger for you to take the stack of $100 bills on the dresser or the coffee table. Lenny calls from the clinic and you get on a charter jet to London. The clinic calls and you fly to Hong Kong. The clinic is just Lenny, a guy with a Russian accent who lives in a suite in the Park Hampton Hotel and who gives you half your income. It's Lenny's accent on the phone telling you what flight to catch, what hotel room or private island where the next client is waiting. Don't laugh, but the downside is you never have time to go shopping. The money just piles up. Your uniform is a fur coat. To fit to this new world, you get good gold and platinum jewelry. You keep a head of perfect glossy hair. Sitting in the lobby of the Ritz-Carlton, you might see a few kids you went to reflexology college with, but now they're wearing Armani suits, Chanel cocktail dresses. Kids who used to be vegan bicycle commuters, now you see them climbing in and out of limousines. You see them eating alone at small tables in hotel dining rooms, drinking cocktails at the bar in private airports, waiting for the next charter jet. What used to be idealistic dreamers now lured into professional footwork. These hippie dreadlocked earth mothers and goated skater punks, you hear them on the telephone giving sell orders to their stockbrokers, stashing money in offshore accounts and Swift safety deposit boxes, haggling over uncut diamonds and Krugerrands. Boys named Trout and Pony, Lizard and Oyster, now they're all called Dirk. Girls named Buttercup are now called Dominique. This flood of people doing footwork, it brings the price down. Soon enough, instead of software billionaires and oil sheiks, you're loitering in a hotel bar, wearing your last year's Prada, and turning foot tricks for $20 a pop. You're slipping under tables to manipulate the feet of conventioneers sitting at restaurant back booths. You're bursting out of big fake birthday cakes to do the feet of entire football teams, bachelor parties, just to keep up the payments on your parents' retirement home. It's just a matter of time before you contract some incurable toenail fungus under your silk-wrapped French manicure. You do all this just to pay the interest on money that you borrowed from Lenny and his Russian mafia. Money borrowed to buy stocks that tanked. Stocks recommended by Lenny. Or to buy the jewelry and shoes Lenny said that you need to fit in. You're in the lobby bar at the Park Hampton Hotel, trying to talk a drunk businessman into a $10 foot job in the men's room. And that's when you see her, Angelique, walking across the lobby headed for the elevators. Her hair shining, her furs dragging on the carpet behind her high-heeled feet. Angelique still looking great. Your eyes catch hers, and with one gloved hand she waves you over. When the elevator comes, she says she's going up to Lenny's penthouse suite, the clinic. She looks at you with your scuffed high heels, your fingernails chipped and jagged. She says, "Come see what the next growth industry will be." The elevator stops on the 15th floor. The whole penthouse is leased to Lenny, where two pinstriped suits full of muscle stand guarding a door. It's these goons you pay Lenny's cut to, half of everything you make. One guard says your names into a microphone pinned to his lapel, and the doors unlock with a loud buzz. Inside, it's just you, Angelique, and Lenny. Don't laugh, but lonely and isolated as your life is, doing footwork, well, Lenny's life looks worse. Locked up here in the penthouse floor, wearing a white terry cloth bathrobe all day, counting his money, and talking on the telephone. The only furniture is a desk chair, the seat stained and dirty. A mattress is flopped near walls of glass that look out over the whole city. On a computer screen, stock prices scroll up without stopping. Lenny comes to the both of you, his bathrobe hanging open, wearing wrinkled striped boxer shorts inside, white socks turned yellow on his feet. Lenny reaches both hands towards Angelique's face and says, "My angel, my favorite." He cups her face in his hands and says, "How are you?" In her high heels, Angelique must be a head taller than him. She smiles, saying, "Lenny." And Lenny smacks her hard, one hand across her face, and he says, "You're cheating on me. That's how you are." He holds one hand up, the palm open and ready to smack her again, and Lenny says, "You're taking outside assignments, aren't you?" Holding one gloved hand to her cheek, hiding the red print of Lenny's hand, Angelique says, "Baby, no." Lenny drops his hand. He turns his back to her. Lenny goes to look out over the windows, the city spread out right next to his mattress. "Baby," Angelique says, "let me show you something new." Angelique looks at me. She goes to stand next to him, putting her gloved hands on his shoulders from behind, and Angelique says, "Let Mommy show you how much she still loves her baby." She steers Lenny to sit on the mattress, and then to lie back. She slips the yellowed sock off of each of his feet. "Come on, baby," she says, taking her gloves off. She says, "You know I give great foot." Then Angelique does what you've never seen before. She gets down on her knees, and she opens her mouth, her lips stretched wide and thin, and she runs her tongue along the bottoms of Lenny's soul. Angelique cups her lips around Lenny's heel, and Lenny starts to moan. Don't laugh, but there are jobs worse than the worst job you can imagine. A media mogul with no history of high blood pressure, he's found dead of a stroke in a room at the Four Seasons. A rock star in perfect health dies of kidney failure after a foot massage at the Chateau Marmont. We have access to the feet of presidents and sultans, CEOs and movie stars, kings and queens. We know how to make a paid hit look like natural causes. This is what Angelique tells you on the way down in the elevator. After Lenny moaned and thrashed, after Angelique mouthed his foot until the one long moment, Lenny sat up on the mattress, clutching his chest in both hands and gaping his open mouth at her, still sucking his heel. After his heart stopped, Angelique pulled the bed sheets up to his chin. She wiped the lipstick off his foot and smeared more around her mouth. She unplugged his phones and told the guards that Lenny was taking a long nap. On the way down in the elevator, Angelique tells you that this was her last foot job. This kind of foot hit paid $1 million cash. A rival agency had hired her to bump off Lenny, and now she was out of the business for good. In the lobby bar, the two of you had to have a cocktail to get the taste of Lenny's foot out of her mouth. Just one last goodbye drink, then Angelique says to look around the hotel lobby. The men in suits, the women in fur coats, they're all Rothling killers, she says. Reiki killers, colonic irrigation assassins. Angelique says, in gym therapy, just by putting a quartz crystal on someone's heart and then another one on his liver and a turquoise on his forehead, you can induce a coma that results in death. Just by sneaking into a room and rearranging someone's bedroom set, a feng shui expert can trigger kidney disease. Moxibustion, she says, is the science of burning cones of incense on someone's acupuncture points. It can kill. She drinks the last of her cocktail and takes off the strand of pearls from around her neck. All those cures and remedies that claim to be 100% natural ingredients, therefore 100% safe. Angelique laughs. She says cyanide is natural. So is arsenic. She hands the pearls to you and she says, from now on, I'm back to being lentil. That's how you want to remember Angelique. Not the way she looked in the newspaper the next day, fished out of the river in a soggy mink coat, her earrings and diamond watch taken to make it look like a robbery. Not with her feet fondled to death, but dead the old-fashioned way, with a hollow point bullet to the back of her perfect French braid. A warning to all the Dirks and Dominiques who might jump ship. The clinic calls, not Lenny, but some other Russian accent, trying to send you to clients, but you don't trust them. The guards saw you with Lentil, up at the penthouse. They must have another hollow point ready for the back of your head. Your folks call from Florida to say that a black town car keeps following them, and somebody calls to ask if they know how to find you. By now, you're already running from flophouse to flophouse, giving back alley foot jobs for enough cash to stay alive. You tell your folks, be careful. You tell them not to get massaged by anybody they don't know. Calling them from a payphone, you tell them to never mess with aromatherapy, auras, Reiki. Don't laugh, but you're going to be traveling for a long time, maybe the rest of your life. You can't explain. By now you've run out of quarters. So you tell your folks goodbye.